Right now, live coverage from your local news leader, breaking stories from overnight and this morning, and your first alert forecast. Here's what's happening where you live. This is ABC 11 Eyewitness News.
Just like that, we made it to Friday. It's 4:30 a.m. Good morning, Carolina. Welcome on this Friday, March the 13th. I'm Joel Brown.
And I'm Anna Rivera. Thanks so much for joining us.
Synagogue attack. The growing anxiety about anti-Semitism after what the FBI is calling a targeted act of violence.
Another act of domestic terrorism carried out on the campus of Old Dominion University in Virginia. The gunman targeting an ROTC class before he was killed.
In the war with Iran, a search underway this morning for an American refueling tanker that went down in Iraq.
And your voice, your vote. The next steps in determining a winner in the still undecided race between State Senate Leader Phil Berger and his challenger, Sheriff Sam Page.
The other big story at 4:30 a.m. is this much cooler start to the morning.
Yeah, it's time for a first check of weather. We all knew it was coming, but it just was like,
Today's morning is not yesterday's morning.
No, not at all. Definitely a big change today, but by the afternoon, I think you'll like what's coming our way. Sunshine and temperatures back to normal. 60 degrees, a high temperature today. We are starting off with some fog this morning, so that could be problematic for some of us early on. But this is the big story right now. A 40-plus degree change compared to 24 hours ago where we were settled into the 70s early yesterday morning. Here's that view from RDU. You can see the fog impacts right now, so the visibilities are much lower, but your out-the-door temperatures are right now settled below freezing in Burlington, Siler City. We're right at freezing in Raleigh and just above freezing in Chapel Hill, Durham, 31 Irwin, 31 Clinton. You'll likely head out the door and have to deal with some frost on the windshields early on. A little bit of wind, so in some spots it does feel a bit cooler, more like those mid to upper 30s. Here's the current visibility setup right now, and around the airport we're up to 10 miles is what it shows, but we saw that picture there, so I do expect those numbers to come down to 1.5 miles for Clinton. So there are some pockets of areas where we have more dense fog than others. Winds are light and variable right now. They'll pick up a little more later today. High pressure overhead that's going to keep us bright through the afternoon. 32 at 8 o'clock. We climb above freezing by 11 with sunshine. 2 o'clock, 55 degrees, near 60 at 5. And then we'll be clear tonight. Temperatures won't fall as low tomorrow morning into the 40s. This weekend starts off dry. I do have some spotty rain in the forecast Sunday, but Monday we're already first alerting you to a risk for severe storms. I'll have more on that coming up just a few minutes away. Right now, back to you.
Quaylen, thank you. I'm over in the
Breaking right now on Eyewitness News at 10 o'clock, an update from the Pentagon on the war with Iran. Officials confirming troops from Fort Bragg played a critical role in the Operation Epic Fury. We have the details.
And the nation on high alert. Federal authorities looking into 2 domestic attacks. The growing fear among Jewish communities.
And low clouds moving out of here. It was a foggy start. Check that out. But conditions turning bright and breezy. It's Friday. Eyewitness News at 10 starts right now.
Right now, live coverage from your local news leader, what you can expect for your day ahead, and your first alert forecast. Here's what's happening where you live. This is ABC 11 Eyewitness News.
You know, I'm a sucker for a good time lapse, and that was good time lapse video. Good morning, everybody. I'm Joel Brown. This is Eyewitness News at 10. I'm here with Anna Rivera, who also enjoys a good time lapse, and that is Quaylen Murphy as well. I tell you what, I am in a fog after this weather whiplash over the last 24 hours.
I feel like I've been in a fog all week. So it's been like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
We've landed in a very cold place.
Yeah, we are in the cold place, maybe the sunken place for some of us, too.
Seatbelts.
Please wear your seatbelts. We're looking at some cold air right now. Still, some of you may still need to use that ice scraper this morning with some frost on the windshield. You may have to allow some extra time before you head out and get on the roads early on. But it's colder. Check this out. The temperature changed from yesterday at this time, 30-plus degrees colder. Earlier this morning, it was 40-plus degrees colder because yesterday morning this time, we were in the 70s. We're now behind that cold front, and this is where temperatures are at this point, 30s and 40s. So a slow climb happening right now. 43 degrees in Durham, 44 in Clinton and Sanford. It's 38 degrees, 37 in Oxford. So we're all climbing finally above the freezing mark. That's going to help melt some of that frost off those windshields early on. A live look into Durham. We could not see our buildings at all this morning, but now they're back and we have bright skies to go along with it. Irwin still seeing some fog in some localized spots still. You may encounter some low visibilities for some spots, but overall we're working our way through that and we'll be finished with that in the next 30 minutes likely. Winds winds are coming in the south. These are also picking up too, and so that's going to help get that mixing going as well. High pressure officially offshore. That's why our winds have switched directions, and that's why we're headed back to around 60 this afternoon. Not a bad lunchtime time frame today. 50 degrees at noon, 57 at 3 o'clock with highs in the upper 50s and low to mid 60s. Still in the 50s all the way through 9 o'clock tonight, even 10 o'clock tonight. But then tomorrow morning we start off in the 40s. Your first alert, we're going to see some changes coming our way. Warming up this weekend, high temperatures in the 70s. On Sunday, we're still in the 70s. I do introduce some spotty rain, maybe a few spotty storms later in the day. It looks like towards the evening hours. But Monday, we take it all in and we have a first alert day. It's a level risk for severe storms. Right now, damaging winds and isolated tornadoes are the main concerns. Notice how warm we are on Monday, still in the low 70s ahead of that front. Once that front passes, though, St. Patrick's Day, running out of luck there. I'll have more on the changes in my full forecast. Anna, back to you.
Okay, Quaylen, thank you.
Right now on Eyewitness News at noon, U.S. Military Command confirms the deaths of 6 U.S. military crew members after a refueling plane crashes in Iraq. Plus, 2 separate attacks in 2 states. Authorities investigating one at a Michigan synagogue and the other at a college in Virginia, and the potential connections to terrorism. Vice President J.D. Vance visiting Central Carolina today. Michael Perchik joins us live in a few minutes with what's happening in Rocky Mount. And in Your Voice, Your Vote, who will win the tight primary race between Republican Phil Berger and Sheriff Sam Page for State Senate?
Right now, live coverage from your local news leader. Today's top stories you need to know and your first alert forecast. Here's what's happening where you live. This is ABC 11 Eyewitness News.
And we have a lot to get to before your weekend begins. Good afternoon. For Eyewitness News at noon, I'm Barbara Gibbs. Amber Rapinta has the day off today. Let's check in with meteorologist Steve Stewart with our forecast. We had some crazy, just whiplash kind of weather, Steve.
Yesterday was incredible, to say the least. You know, it's a nearly 50-degree drop in temperature in 24 hours. And we were down to freezing this morning around the triangle, 20s elsewhere. So we had a pretty good freeze overnight. It was a cold start. Tomorrow morning, we're back to the mid-40s as we start the day. Gorgeous out there right now. Lots of sunshine. Might catch a couple little high clouds later today. Seasonable temperatures will be in those lower 60s. A little breezy at times, so you probably noticed that already. Yesterday, 76, by the way, was midnight. By the afternoon, we fell down to around 40 degrees. We got a ½ inch of rain yesterday, so that's 2 days this month of rain, tallying up to about 5,200. That's a pretty good deficit of over an inch. We need more rain. That's why we're seeing elevated fire risk anytime it's breezy, because the ground is just so dry. So here's our next event. Sunday, there could be some showers late in the day into the overnight hours, but then here comes a strong front on Monday. Not just rain, folks. This could be severe weather as well. Looks pretty ominous at this point in time. There's another shot of the clear skies. 50 in the North Hills with a south breeze at 14, gusting to 23 out there. And that 50 degrees is 1 degree warmer than this time yesterday. Widespread 40s up in our northern counties, 50 in Smithfield. In Fayetteville, currently at 52 degrees. Evening plan, maybe a walk, numbers falling down to the mid-50s by 8 o'clock in the evening under partly cloudy skies. Please make some plans. It's a decent weekend. Yeah, there's a chance of rain Sunday, but it's so late in the day. The majority of your day is going to be fantastic. More on that coming up in a few minutes. Barbara.
All right. Thank you, Steve. Coming up on Eyewitness News at 4, a vice presidential visit. J.D. Vance makes a stop in Rocky Mount today. The promises he's made to North Carolina business owners.
And we're learning more about the critical role Fort Bragg soldiers are playing in the war with Iran, how members of our local military community are reacting to the rising tensions in the Middle East.
Plus, from selling gentlemen's clothing to taking over grocery stores with their Bloody Mary mix and snacks. In today's North Carolina Made, we introduce you to the family who turned their love for a good cocktail into a booming business. Eyewitness News at 4 starts now.
Right now, live coverage from your local news leader, keeping you connected to your community and your first alert forecast. Here's what's happening where you live. This is ABC 11 Eyewitness News.
Right now at 4, Vice President J.D. Vance makes a stop right here in the Triangle today. Vance speaking to business owners about the strides the Trump administration is making to cut taxes.
If you're building a furniture facility, a furniture business right here in the state of North Carolina, we're going to cut your taxes.
Thank you for joining us for the News at 4. I'm Barbara Gibbs.
And I'm Lauren Johnson in for Amber tonight. Vice President J.D. Vance just wrapping up his visit to Rocky Mount. He delivered an address at the Powerhouse. It's an event venue right off the Tar River. Michael Perchik was there for that address. He joins us live. And Michael, tell us more about what the Vice President talked about. Just buy it and enjoy it.
That's right.
All right, right now at 5 o'clock, our local Jewish community reacting to that terror attack targeting a synagogue in Michigan.
Plus, Vice President J.D. Vance in Central Carolina today focused on the economy and public safety.
And we continue to follow the war with Iran. What we're learning about the critical role Fort Bragg soldiers played in the operation and new reaction from our military community as we wait to see if more local soldiers will be deployed to that region. And only on Eyewitness News, we hear from the cousin of the ROTC instructor killed in that terror attack yesterday at Old Dominion University.
The disbelief she is now feeling.
He went and sacrificed his life for this country, and then for him to come back here and lose his life here in a senseless act of violence is just, it's a tragedy.
Plus, what we're learning about Brandon Shaw's time at Fort Bragg. Eyewitness News at 5 starts right now.
Right now, live coverage from your local news leader, uncovering new stories you'll only see here, and your first alert forecast. Here's what's happening where you live. This is ABC 11 Eyewitness News.
Michael Watley and Lori Buckout, their reason for being is to fight for you, and that's why we're here today.
Now at 5 o'clock, North Carolina's 2026 elections attracting the big hitters. You saw Vice President J.D. Vance there in Rocky Mount today as the Trump administration throws its support behind Watley and Lori Buckout. Thanks so much for joining us here for the news at 5. I'm Lauren Johnson.
And I'm Barbara Gibbs in for Steve this evening. Lori Buckout is facing incumbent Democrat Don Davis in the 1st Congressional District race, which includes Rocky Mount. Last fall, the Republican led the General Assembly redrew the 1st and 3rd congressional districts in hopes of giving the Republican Party the upper hand in the 1st congressional race, which is currently held by Democrat Don Davis.
Meantime, Michael Watley, the former RNC chair, will face former North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper in the Senate race. Michael Perchik is live at the Powerhouse, where Vance just spoke to supporters, and you are hearing from those supporters this hour. Hi, Michael.
Right now, live coverage from your local news leader, investigating new information tonight, and your first alert forecast. Here's what's happening where you live. This is ABC 11 Eyewitness News.
And right now at 6 o'clock, North Carolina and Rocky Mount once again on the political map. Vice President J.D. Vance visiting this afternoon, speaking to a room of several hundred people. Thanks so much for joining us here tonight for the news at 6. I'm Lauren Johnson. Steve is off. Michael Perchik joins us live from the Powerhouse event space. And Michael, the Vice President admits he and the President are watching many of our local races here in North Carolina.
Right now, live coverage from your local news leader, preparing you for tomorrow starting tonight, and your first alert forecast. Here's what's happening where you live. This is ABC 11 Eyewitness News.
The fear and the uncertainty is normal. You live with that, you process it.
Right now at 11, words of wisdom from a National Guard wife and mother. So many military families watch the conflict in the Middle East unfold, bracing for what's next. Thanks so much for joining us here for the news at 11. I'm Lauren Johnson. Steve is off tonight, and we start with some brand new developments in the war with Iran. President Trump tonight posting on Truth Social that U.S. Central Command executed a strike in Iran, saying the raid did not target the island's oil infrastructure, but obliterated every military target. It comes as we're learning new details about 6 American crew members killed in a crash involving a U.S. refueling jet in Iraq. Ohio's governor announcing 3 of the 6 service members were from the state's Air National Guard refueling wing. Meanwhile, the U.S. is deploying thousands of Marines and sailors aboard 3 Navy amphibious ships to the Middle East. As these deployments ramp up, military families here in the Triangle tell us it can be a journey full of both anxiety and fear. Jamise Price spoke with the family of a North Carolina National Guard member who's currently deployed, and she shares the toll it takes on the entire family.